All right, friends, welcome. It is April 18th. Can you believe that we are in our week 15 of our class, which is kind of crazy to me if you think about it. But here we are.
You're doing backflips. You're just not showing it.
Wait. Oh no, 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 no. I'm not showing
I'm
it
just,
because my, yeah,
I'm
here we are.
kidding. I'm
Oh
kidding.
no, I know it, I know it.
But it has
But
gone fast.
it is gone super fast. So just as a reminder of what is due and what is needed, this week you have no core assignments. So you just have to focus on your exam. But you do have a discussion question, so please make sure you go do that. Uh, as a reminder, everything is due next Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So please make sure everything is, all your core assignments, all your discussion questions, a passing belt exam, all of that is due next Wednesday. So please make sure you're not, kind of planning on end of day Sunday or anything like that. It is all due next Wednesday. Um, cool. Uh, Great. Today I just have an algorithm. Really, it's this week is pretty light. I try to keep it light, especially if you guys are doing exams. So if we finish early, that's okay. But I just want to make sure it's nothing heavy. You guys have been in the midst of exams and prepping for exams, so it's like a very, very heavy week on your brain. And so I always keep week 15 light, very, very light, and short if necessary. If it takes a whole class, it takes a whole class. That's great. That's fine. But if not, then we kind of give you a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather for week 15. Cool. Great. Let me pull up our code. Here we are. Here's what we're going to do. I've got an algorithm called flexible counter that is set three variables. We're going to have low. We're going to create a function that's going to have three variables. One's going to be called low num. Another one's called high num. The other one's molt. And so start at low num and go through high num. Print only the integers that are multiples of the molt. This sounds like a lot. I promise it's not as heavy as you guys think. So for example, if they pass in 2, 9, and 3, we're going to get all of the numbers between 2 and 9. And we're only going to print the ones that are multiples of 3. So we're not going to get all the numbers. We're just going to iterate through all of them, and we are going to print the multiples of molt. Okay. So let's do some good old pseudocode. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what it's asking?
Um,
So we just
let's
create a
see.
function that takes in three values, low num, high num, and molt. We
Mm-hmm.
want to start at low num and go through high num. And we're going to look at all of those numbers, and we're only going to print the ones that are multiples of molt.
Okay.
So we'd start between 2 and go all the way up to and including 9 with a molt of 3. And so only the numbers between the numbers 2 and 9, the only multiples of 3 are 3, 6, and 9. So that's what we'd print.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Kevin, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Actually, you
So,
know what? I'll be right back. Okay.
yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So, Stella, it's you and I.
All
So
right.
that means you got to do it all. Just kidding. I'll help you.
Ah, of
I'm just
course.
messing. I'll help you. I'll help
I
you.
know.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the first thing we're going to do that we need to do in this algorithm?
So,
We do it the same first thing every time.
I know we would need to. I was like, I've seen this before. I was
Mm,
thinking that I've seen this before. I don't know if it was like in my JavaScript,
mm, maybe.
but it looked familiar. That's why I'm like, hmm. So we're gonna create a function.
There we go.
What we do best.
Yeah.
Our favorite.
So we're going to create a function that takes in 3 parameters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Low num, high
High
num,
and
and
mult.
mult. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
cool. What are we going to do next?
We will definitely have to create a loop,
Yeah,
and let's see.
where's it going to start? Or
Um,
how are we going to do it first and foremost? What kind of loop are we going to do?
it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a range
Okay. It's a good idea.
because I'm thinking if it is a good idea. Mm, yeah, let's just stick to that because my second guessing is not very well right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I think that's
so
right. If you were to ask me, I think that's the right choice anyway.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, doing the range. Obviously we're starting by 2. So you can. I'm wondering if we're gonna do a conditional with this one as well.
I think we're gonna have to, right? Because
Yeah.
what numbers are we grabbing?
Or we're grabbing all the odd numbers,
Are
pretty
we doing all
much.
the odd numbers?
No. I'm just saying, when we're printing, it's gonna be odd numbers if we're doing the exact same thing. If we
Well,
were
six
to do.
six is an even number, right?
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. We're doing multiples,
Yeah,
multiples,
there you go.
multiples. Yep.
I think Kevin's back. Maybe we can
Yeah,
put
I
him on
think.
the spot.
Yep, his turn. Your turn,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Oh
So
boy, I'm
Kevin,
in
we said
trouble now.
I know. We said we're gonna create a function that takes in 3 parameters: low num, high num, and mult.
Yep.
We said we're gonna create a for loop using range. And within that for loop, what are we going to do? Remember, the question is, we just want to get the numbers that are a multiple of whatever mult is, right? So how can we check that?
Create for loop using range. So there's actually something about this that's kind of really getting me, and I don't know what it is. Low num equals 2, high num equals 9, mult
Mm-hmm.
equals 3. The loop should print 3, 6, 9.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an
So
example.
right. So because 6 and 9 are a multiple of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. My mind is just not comprehending this one.
No, you're okay. You're okay. So let's break it
I'm
down a little simply, right? Where, if we're doing this example, so let's say that low num equals 2, high num is 9, mult is 3. Where are we going to start? What are we doing? What are, like kind of abstract this away from actual writing code. What are we trying to do? If you were just trying to do this in your head, what would you do? And this is kind of an open question, not just specifically you, Kevin.
Okay.
this actually, I did something, a problem like this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We had something very similar to this.
Okay,
It was part of one of the core assignments, and there was a problem just like this.
sure.
And it's always gotten me.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's okay. What? So we're going to use some sort of conditional.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What are we looking for?
We're looking for multiples.
Yeah, exactly. Looking for multiples. Multiples of what?
Of the 3 variables that we're using.
Even
So,
just kind of excluding these, we're looking for the multiples of mult, right? Whatever numbers past it.
gotcha.
If So let's think about this.
Wait.
If 3, how can I tell, let's say the multiple is 3. What,
Oh,
what,
wait.
go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I get it now. So it's all the numbers from 2 through 9, including the 2 and the 9.
Mm-hmm.
So all the numbers from 2 through 9, including the low and the high.
Mm-hmm.
3 is a multiple of 3.
Mm-hmm.
6 in the is a multiple of 3. 3, 6, 9 are the only 3 numbers within the range from 2 through 9 that are a multiple of 3.
Exactly. Exactly. So if we've got 3, let's say we've got the number 3 and we're thinking about this, right? What tool can I use to see if something's a multiple of, in this case, 3?
The modulo operator,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's the percentage sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. And what would that give me? If it's a multiple of 3, what is modulo 3 going to give me?
The
How do I
remain a remain if it's a remainder of 0,
exactly? I'm gonna put this. Okay. So we know that if it's a remainder of 0, that tells me it's a multiple of 3. So what could my conditional statement look like? Maybe
Absolutely. If
if let's say
mul
we said
no,
for num in range.
so then we'll use if num.
Yep. Modulo. If num modulo what? How do we make this dynamic?
Equals to
Not
uh
equals 2, right? Because we have to say what number are we trying to see if it's a multiple of? I'm gonna go off camera. I kind of lagged a little bit. Okay. Let me know if you guys can't hear me.
no,
We say
I hear you
if
fine.
num is a multiple or num modulo what equals 0. What is the what? What number or maybe what value are we given that we're trying to see if it's a multiple of?
So
Fives? Let's do fives. No.
Well, think about this one. We're going all the way, just like Kevin said, we're going all the way from 2 to 9.
it would be 3.
3, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
What are we using to represent the number 3 here?
Malt.
mult.
Mult, exactly. This is what makes it dynamic, right? If I were to say 3, not M3, but just 3, sure, that would work for this example right here. But let's say I wanted to make this dynamic to where no matter what I put in, they could say, maybe on another one, it's all of them between 55 and 73 and I want to know all the multiples of 7, right? But instead of putting 3, this is what we call hard coding. Instead of putting 3, if we put mult,
Any number.
now it's any number. So this function has multiple usages, right? This is what we call dynamic, right? It can adapt and change to whatever my user needs versus being hard coded and sort of stuck in this any multiples of 3, or else we'd have to create one that's multiple of 4, multiple of 5, multiple of 6, multiple of 7, multiple of 8, right? We'd have all these same things. Instead, we can just create one dynamic function that then we can change the values of, and then now again, whatever my user wants to do, if it's 55 and 73, all the multiples of 7, we can do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Kevin, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So if it's a multiple of 3, what do we want to do?
We will have to return.
Do we return?
No, what do we? Hold on.
What happens? Let's think about it. Let's say it's my first iteration. We're starting at 2. Right? We're gonna iterate through and we're gonna check, is 2 a modulo 3 in this case? Does that equal 0? No, it doesn't, right? So we're gonna go up and we're gonna say 3. 3 modulo mult, which is 3. Does that equal 0? That is true. If we put return here, what happens to my function? What happens when a function sees a return?
It kills it.
Mm-hmm.
So
So do we want to have a return right here?
No, we want to print.
Sure, we could print. Print, what am I printing?
Well, we're not done yet. But we will print once we're done. Because if it's going through the loop, it will continue till it's done.
Uh-huh. So let's think about this. So if num modulo mult, meaning that it's a multiple of whatever a mult is, what are we wanting to do with that number? If we skip it, if we just say, okay, great, that's fine, then we won't keep track of it. So we either need to keep track of it or we need to print it, right? We need to show it. So which way would you guys like to start doing?
I think we should show it so we can see it.
Okay. So how we say print, that's a great way to show it. What am I printing?
We're not printing. We're printing num. No, hold on.
Yeah. No,
Are
you're
we?
exactly right. Don't second guess
Yeah,
yourself.
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You're printing num, right? You're printing the number that is a multiple. Cool.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Then if it's not, then that's fine, right? But this should get us there. This should be for the beginning, and then what we'll do is we can do one where maybe we print them all at the same time. So okay, let's write this code now. Who wants to take the first line? You know what? I'll take the first line. Just kidding. The easiest
Funny.
one. Def, flexible, flex. If I could spell, maybe it's hard for me.
You see? You see?
Everybody has their issues, Estrella.
Ah, I know.
Lunum, low num, high num, and mult. Okay. So I did the first part. Who wants to do the next part?
So now we'll do for, let me see, we're doing the loop now. So we will do for num in range.
Or num in range.
And then I guess we'll be starting at 0.
When are we stopping?
Let's do 15.
Okay.
Is that too high, you think?
You can do whatever you want. We'll see if it works.
Okay.
Okay. So what am I doing now?
We gotta do the conditional statement. So
We already have that, right? We say if
yeah,
num modulo mult
equals
0, we're going to print num. Okay. Kevin, what do you think? Do you think this is going to work?
Uh, I don't know.
Okay. Let's try it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say flexible counter. And I'm going to type in a low num of 2, 9. Oops, 9 and 3. All right, moment of truth. What do we think?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Funny. Let's see.
Uh-oh, we got 0, 3,
3,
6, 9, 12.
Ah, look at that.
So we're close.
We're pretty
We got
close.
2 extra values here. Kevin, you said something really important when you kind of had your aha moment. What is the question asking us? Kind of, if you can go back and refrain, like,
well, right,
reenact
because
your aha moment.
right. Well, the reason it gave us a 0 and a 12 is because it goes through each of those. So it has your start, your stop, and then your default step, which is just 1.
Yeah.
So it includes, so it goes through but it doesn't include the 15. It stops at 15. So it really just includes the 0 and the 14. So it goes through 0 and 14, really.
Yeah.
Because the 15 is not included. So all of the numbers that right, because the num goes through the 0 and the 14. And then so the mult, it's like, God, how could I say this? It tests each of those numbers, and if it equals 0, it prints num. Well, 0 divided by 3 is 0, so that would be included.
Yeah.
3 divided by
3 is a multiple
3.
of 3.
Well, yeah, 3, or I'm sorry, 0 divided by 3 is 0 with a remainder of 0, so that would be included. Same with 3, 6, 9, and 12. They all have, their own quotient, but they all have a remainder of 0, which means that they're divisible by 3 evenly.
Yep. Exactly.
So those are 0, 3, 0, 3, 6, 9, and 12 are the only numbers.
You said something really important when you were sort of having your aha moment.
Yeah.
You were saying, it's only printing the numbers between what?
Between the 2 and the 9, I think.
Yeah. So here we're kind of outside those bounds, right? Is there any way or any tools that we have accessible to our fingertips that we could kind of realign and make sure we stay within the bounds of whatever the 2 and the 9 are?
We could start at a different number instead of 0.
Yeah. What could I start at?
2.
You could start at 2. Should I just put 2 here?
Yes.
Okay. And then what else could I do to change this? To make sure that it doesn't include the number 12 here. Just getting the numbers between 2 and 9. What could I do?
We can add the 12, comma 12, because it will stop at 12. It won't include it.
We could do that. So if I save this and I run it again. Perfect. We got 3, 6, and 9. Now, we talked about, and maybe you guys can kind of remind me, why did we do molt instead of 3 here on line 12?
Because we're hard coding it.
Yeah, we didn't want to hard code it, right?
Correct.
And we remember my example of, let's say I wanted to get the numbers 55 through 73 and all of them that are divisible by 7. Right? That's why we wanted to use molt so that I could do divisible by 7. Does this work for that example? If I have and this is what an algorithm I have is you'll have a bunch of test cases. And so maybe it will be 55 and 73 with a multiple of 7. Will this function work for that test case?
Yes, because that's mod could be anything, just like num could be anything.
Yeah. So you're saying if I wanted to, instead of 2, 9, and 3, I had low num equals 55, high num equals 73, molt equals 7. And I wanted to get all the values. So in this case, which would be what? 56, 63, 70, right? That should be my answer. Those are all the values or the multiples of 7 between 55 and 73. So if this is my answer, let's see. If I say 55, and then my high num is 73, and my molt is 7, let's see what answer I get.
Well, we have to change it, the range, no?
Yeah, we do have to change the range. But what if I'm creating a, yeah, that's my point, right?
Yeah.
There it is. So if I write it, this is what we call hard coding, right? And so we don't know, and it wouldn't be a very good program if every single time we had to go in and we had to change this for every user test case.
Gotcha.
So what is a way that we're keeping track of where we want to start and where we want to stop? What are we using here?
I feel like I should know this.
What values does our function have access to?
What values?
Mm-hmm. This flexible counter online.
Oh, the what's inside of the parentheses.
Yeah.
That's what we can use.
Yeah. So how can I use those? I've got 2 values that are darkened, meaning I'm not using them.
Yeah, so we can write low num
There you go.
and high num.
Exactly.
And anything can go through.
Yeah, but maybe we'll do high num plus 1, just because.
Oh yeah. So it can go to
There
the
we
next
go.
one.
Yep. So now if I come up here, I get 56, 63, 70. But if I say 2, 9, 3, save. Look at 3,
I'm a
6, 9.
genius.
There you are. You are a genius, girl. Come on. So now it's fully dynamic, right? It doesn't matter what number we pass in, if it's 5,023 and 7,045. We want all multiples of 45. It doesn't matter. This function now can handle sort of any test case. Kevin, does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And the reason you add the plus 1 is because you want it to include the high num.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because in this example, it said 369, which high num was 9. If we just put high num, it's not going to include that. So you're exactly right. That's why we put plus 1.
What I don't quite understand is why didn't they make the Java language to where it would accept the first number, the stop that you gave it for the looping.
I don't know. That's a great question for Guido van Rossum, the founder of The founder of Python. I have zero idea.
He has his own mind.
I was gonna say,
We're just following it.
I'm sure there's a great reason because he's way smarter than I will ever be. But great question. Okay, so we got 28 minutes. I'm gonna throw one more thing at you, and then
Okay.
once we get this, you guys can have some time back.
Okay.
Let's say I didn't want to just print that. I wanted to save all the values, and at the end, I wanted to print them. How would I do that? We've done this a few times, but I want to make sure that we can do it. So instead of it saying 369, I just wanted to have something I can keep track of it in any way, but something that was going to print all the values in one line.
I'm trying to think what it could be.
Let's start. What is a data structure or data type that we can use that we can put multiple values in?
You mean an array?
Yeah, we could use a list. Where would I put that? Yeah, I think a list is a great idea.
Okay.
Where would I put that? Or how would I implement that in storing that?
That's what I'm thinking. Instead of printing num, maybe?
Yeah. So in this place, we will change this. That's exactly right. Where would I declare this list first and foremost?
In the beginning, on the top,
Yeah,
before num.
Yeah, why?
Because if we don't declare it, it won't know what it is.
Yeah, why don't we declare a list inside of our for loop?
Because then it would include it and it would break it.
If we did it in our for loop, we'd just keep overriding it, right? And it would always make it an empty list, and so we wouldn't keep track of anything. So now, that's exactly right. We have num list here. How would I add to this list? How do I add to a list?
Append.
Yeah, I say num list. Oops. Dot append. And what am I adding? What am I appending?
I'm thinking.
What did we print?
The mult. The num. Sorry, the num.
Num. Yeah. So we just want to keep track of the num. That was a multiple, right? So we're just going to append num. All right. Will this work here? Do we think?
Yes, I think that will help us track it.
Okay. Well, at the end, I want to be able to see this list. So will this work?
No, you still have to do print.
Okay. Where?
These damn algos. I think you'll have to print num list now to
Right
actually,
here?
yeah, at the end. Yep.
Okay.
Num list.
Okay.
I'm hoping this will work.
Let's try it. Okay, so that worked, but what if I just wanted to print it one time? First and foremost, why is it printing 3 times?
Because it's within the loop.
Yeah. So if what do I need to do to it to make it not print 3 times?
We have to take it out the loop then.
Yeah. So is this, which one? This here or here?
No, I think I think it's in the def because if it's no, if you have it under if, it's in the loop.
Okay. So right here,
If
does this work?
I think you still have to pull it one more, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's good where it is, I think.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
If
I
I
have to
do it
remember
one
that.
more, so remember, if it's on the same level as diff or def, it no longer belongs to the scope of this function.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
if it's within my, if it's indented inside here,
Then
then
it goes with it.
yep, then it belongs to this
Okay.
function.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking like when we're writing the code, like every time we start from the def, it's like we're starting
Yep.
a new question, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, this is great. This works exactly perfect. Any
Nice.
questions on what we did? You guys crushed
No.
it.
No, I like this one. I felt really good at this one.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are getting, and it's also just like you guys are getting better at this, you know? Like even the fact that Kevin, right, that you were like, hey, no, it's good where it's at because it needs to be, if it's in the if, it's within my for loop. In Estrella, the fact that you're like, oh yeah, no, we need to do a conditional, we need to do a mult because it's dynamic. You guys weren't saying that 4 weeks ago, right? So that it just
Not
shows.
even close.
Yeah, but it just shows, like as a sign of encouragement that you guys are getting better at this, even though it's challenging and it's hard. You guys are getting better at these algorithms.
Yes, absolutely.
So great job. Great job.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
any other questions on this?
Not
No,
really.
Cool. Well,
no.
again, it's exam week, so I try to go as light. So I'll give you the extra time. Just wanted to remind you, you do have a discussion question. Please don't forget about this.
Mm-hmm.
And Wednesday is the last day to submit an exam.
Okay.
So Tuesday, if you want full 24 hours, Tuesday at 11:59 is the last day to start an exam. If you wait to start on Wednesday, you just have whatever the time remaining between when you started and 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
So don't wait. And if you can, take the exam again this week. If you need a new code, I can give that to you. If on this weekend you want to take another shot, if you need a code or something, if it's your first time or your second time, and I say this because other people watching the recording, then feel free. TAs can give you the code as well. So put it in the Discord Python PT or the Will channel, and then just say, hey, I'm looking for a code, my second code or my first code, and then the TAs can give you that as well.
Okay. And then grading, if you decide to take the test again,
Mm-hmm.
no pressure on when you're grading again.
Yeah, so grading will be like I will try to grade it like if somebody's retaking and they give it to me by 5 p.m. PST tomorrow, then I'll try to grade it and get another code if that's necessary. If not, I'll grade it first thing Monday and
Okay.
then turn it around so that way you have at least some other time. But I'll make
Okay.
sure that it's like first thing Monday. Grade it.
Okay.
So that
Sounds
way,
good.
because I know you guys have, and there's not that many people, but I know that you guys have,
The time
not as much time.
difference.
Yeah, time difference, and then just not as much time. So I'll grade that and get that done with.
Okie dokie. Appreciate
Cool.
it, Will.
Yeah. Well, great
Thank
job today,
you.
guys. I'll give you the 19 minutes back.
Hope you feel better.